So this is one of my favourite places in our garden. It's my favourite place to sit, and it's by the pond. And kind of think of the pond, or a pond, in a garden as the centre, like zone zero, as it were, for wildlife. And so this is it's not too large, not too small. Rob dug this out last year, and we just left it to fill. We lined it and left it to fill with rainwater, which it did very quickly, and within a few days of it starting to fill, pond skaters arrived, which I remember from when I was smaller. When I was little, I remember pond skaters. And then we also have great diving beetles, water boatmen. And the thing is, one of the things that we discovered when we researched, sort of looked up, how to dig a pond, what to do to make it good for wildlife, is that it's best to have lots of very shallow areas, so the marginal areas around the edge, very, very shallow. The shoreline, you see the shoreline at the far edge there. And this is good not just for birds to come and bathe, and honeybees and other insects to come and feed, because it's safe, it doesn't go straight from the edge to a deep water, but it's also great for lots of marginal aquatic insects, invertebrates. And then there's you see the yellow plant there, so that's lesser spearwort, and that's planted just next to the deeper area of the pond. And I know that in the deeper area of the pond we've got newts, and I've seen baby newts, so they must be breeding. And then plant-wise, we've only used native pond plants. So that's the lesser spearwort, which is the yellow one, and then the one that looks like forget-me-not, the blue one, that's water forget-me-not. And then there's a couple. There's some larger leaves over here. That's bog bean. I really just got that because I like the name, but it also produces pretty little white flowers. And then various small sedges. And, okay, this hazel stick here that's coming out of the edge of the pond, this is a perch. And we put that there. Somebody said, if you put a perch next to your pond, male dragonflies will come and perch on it. So we did, and they have, or he has, and look, he is, I don't know if you can see here, a broad-bodied chaser, and the male is this gorgeous blue with yellow spots down the side of his abdomen, and the female is a golden colour. And I saw the female laying eggs in the pond earlier today. Interesting. So with dragonflies, and I didn't know this before, the dragonflies must mate elsewhere, and then the females come and lay their eggs. But the damselflies, and I've seen quite a few damselflies. They're much smaller, long and slim. So I've seen some bright red ones and some azure blue ones, which I think might be called azure blues. And what they do is the females lay their eggs beneath these little lilies, these tiny little water lily leaves, the lily pads, whilst they're mating. So I learnt that from watching our pond. So that, and as well as the plants that you can see above the water, we've also got some oxygenating plants. I don't know what they are, but they help to keep the water clear beneath it. So there's the wildlife pond. And even if you can't dig something, if you can't dig a pond like this, then even just an old ice cream tub or an old sink or a basin would do. Just fill it with, or let it fill with rainwater, and make sure if you have something like a sink or an ice cream tub or anything that's just doesn't have a gentle edge, make sure there's a big rock or something inside it, or a piece of wood like a slide going into it, just so that the creatures can climb out if they fall in. So there we are, a wildlife pond.